The 18th will be my 6-month anniversary.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
And are you the volunteer McKinney? Is there a staff
It's
at all?
me. It's just me. We have a really dedicated board that are committed to working really hard. They're all busy, they're working their jobs, business leaders. This is a really good fit for this time of my life. We're empty nesters, and so I'm a little more flexible on, what I can do and when I can do it. And so knowing that this job was sort of a 24/7 thing, and that they needed someone who could sort of rebuild. They wanted the agency to go in a different direction than where it had gone before, and that was fun to me.
I'd say it's a thankless job. I don't think it is a thankless job. I think there's a lot of people that appreciate it.
I think, and my personality is such that I need almost immediate gratification. So
Thank you.
yeah. So, and there's a story behind that, but this job is good for me because I do feel every day the appreciation of the people I interact with, of the agencies that we support, because we're kind of unique in that we're a nonprofit, but we don't really have a hungry little child for our poster. Our clients are those nonprofits who are out there doing the work. So it's a little different in that we're recruiting people to help for someone else. We're not recruiting them to help us. Although we do look for financial support in this community, and we get it. We're also competing with those agencies that are doing the direct service for those dollars. So it's kind of interesting, but very rewarding, very rewarding. A lot of fun.
Would it be without you?
My husband is 50 years old, very, very healthy. He swims 3 days a week. He's in great shape. This whole time, my husband wasn't noticing any change in his vision. He felt perfectly normal and fine. Ordered an MRI, and the MRI confirmed that he had a 1-inch tumor in his pituitary. And the reason they found it from the field of vision test is because your optic nerves lay right above your pituitary gland inside your head. And so as that tumor started to grow, it was just ever so slightly starting to compress on the optic nerve. And so that was what caused that field of vision test to be strange. No, they would have found it eventually when he said, I can't see.
Okay.
Back in the old days when they didn't have all this testing, people would wake up and be blind. Went to a surgeon and he said, yes, it's a tumor, it's big, it's not cancer. So that's a good thing, but you're going to need to have surgery. And so they did the surgery, and it was cutting edge, state of the art at UT Southwestern's hospital. They used tiny cameras, and they went in above his lip, under his lip, sort of through the nasal cavity and into the middle of his head. So the surgeon who did the surgery was the head of neurosurgery for UT Southwestern. And when you say, oh, he's so smart, he wrote the book, this guy actually wrote books on this surgery and just got him home, and he's doing good, but it was really an experience. And, when you go from just living your regular life and you're worrying about work and you're worrying about your kids or, whatever, and then all of a sudden something like this happens, your circle, I call it your circle of things you worry about, just sort of gets smaller. And now you're just worried about these one or two things. So, those things are good for us if we can survive them. I didn't know it at the time, but my father was a big volunteer in the community. He coached Little League. He did a lot of work at the church. And because of his shape, he was often asked to portray Santa Claus.
His shape?
His shape. He fit the suit, let me say that.
All right.
With very little padding. And so I didn't know until the year I was 6 years old. And we were at a church program, and it wasn't at our church, but we would always go to these church programs and community programs, and I just thought, oh, my mom's really good about, getting us out. But I found out later that it was because my dad was actually the Santa at every one of those. So I never recognized him until this year I was 6. And we were at the thing, and at the end of the church choir program, they said, we've got a visitor, listen. And then you hear the jingle bells and you hear the ho, ho, ho. Still didn't clue me in that it was him. And as he came down the aisle, and normally he always had the white gloves that Santa wears, well, he had forgotten the gloves. And so he was reaching out and shaking hands, with people as he came down the aisle. And when he reached his hand out to shake my hand, I recognized his hand. I thought, that's my daddy's hand. So on the way home in the car, I asked my mom, I said, was that Daddy? She said, yes, it was. So, but it was a special Christmas for me because actually Santa always came to our house.
Well, he lived there.
But, other kids would go, Santa's not real, it's just your parents. And I'd say, well, no, this man comes, and it never bothered me when my mom said, oh, your dad's sleeping. Let's don't wake him up. It was my dad.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. There is a Santa Claus.
I know, yeah.
She didn't see me creep down the stairs to have a peep. She thought that I was tucked up.
I have lots of stories. I'm a storyteller. That's who I am. People that know me, people that go to my trainings or workshops know that they're going to get 3 or 4 stories of Dana's childhood. That's just part of it. But I think there's learning to be had, and people can relate.
If you think you have a story to tell, send me an email. But I have to tell you up front, it better be good.